Need a dumbbell and bodyweight only program? Let's take a look at this one and see if it can work for your home gym. Let's take a look at the equipment for the program. First off, you will need a pair of dumbbells. You can do whatever you'd like, but I personally like to use adjustable dumbbells. One brand I really like are the Core Fitness dumbbells that go up to 50 pounds, but feel free to look at other brands if you need more. Next, I recommend some type of adjustable bench, and the one I like to recommend is the Flybird adjustable benches, as they're pretty good. You could also go with the Ironmaster adjustable benches that also have a different attachments like a pull-up bar device. That way you can do it from home without using something like your door, but I will go over a door option later for the next one. Which leads me into some kind of overhead pulling option, which could be a doorway pull-up bar, or again, like the Ironmaster pull-up bar that you can put into the bench. But whatever you use, some type of way that you can hang down and do overhead pulling, that way you can do that movement pattern. And lastly, you'll probably want some kind of dip bar station. It's not required, but I will demonstrate with you as dips are in the program itself. So I like the Liber Fitness Equalizer dip bars, as I've had them for years and years, where I do either dips or inverted rows with it. And as a bonus item, take a look at wrist straps. They're very beneficial if you are having issues with your grip on some of the exercises. We don't want your grip giving out before things like maybe you're working your lower body. We want to make sure that your legs are actually the thing getting tired before your grip does. So take a look at wrist straps if you need them. And with that, I'm going to go over some of the items you should know about this program before jumping into the program itself. Each day has been built out to last just under 30 minutes if you followed the rep tempo and the rest periods exactly. Now, this is probably not always going to happen, but if you do, you should end up just under 30 minutes for each workout. Next, I have built in 3 separate workouts into this, all full body each time, but some emphasizing other things for each day. Now, you can take any 2 of the days and basically hit the entire body very, very well, but if you hit all 3, you'll really round it out for the week, or if you need more rest for that duration of time. And personally, I work out Monday, Wednesday, Friday as it fits best into my schedule, but do know if I ever felt really tired or sick or something, I would just skip that day and then pick it up where I left off. And with that, I recommend a minimum of 1 day between each workout. This way, you are able to properly recover from the one before it, and it allows your body to repair any damage from the previous workout and build on top of it as some additional muscle. That way, you're able to gain more muscle over time. If you're not allowing that rest period, you may find that you're actually not building any additional muscle because your body can't keep up before you are working that muscle group again. Now, for sets in the workout, the max you will do is 3. I actually recommend focusing on 2, where the first one and the second one, you are going to momentary muscular failure, and you do an optional third one if you feel like something didn't quite go right or you stopped a bit early, maybe mentally you gave up, you'll do a third set in order to make sure that you are stimulating enough of the motor units to get the stimulus to build muscle. And yes, you could probably do it all in one set and keep things really short, but I found that if no one is pushing you like a coach or someone there, it is very hard mentally to actually reach the point of momentary muscular failure by yourself. So that's why I personally recommend 2 and potentially 3 if you feel like you are stopping a bit early. And to round things out, for rep speed, I recommend a 3-second up, 3-second down. I had this a bit more confusing in the past, but this just makes it easy. So you're going to do a count of 3 seconds up, then slowly change direction and do 3 seconds down. Or the concentric and eccentric are both 3 seconds in each direction with a slow change of direction at each end. And with that, let's take a look at the actual 3-day plan. So again, it's 3 whole days. Each one has 6 exercises per day. And let's take a look at the breakdown. So day number 1 is actually the squat focused day, as that will be our first exercise. But we're going to warm up with body weight squats. I personally like to do this on a door frame. That way I can keep good positioning and get down the speed of each rep before moving on to exercise number 1. And that first exercise is going to be the suitcase squat. So we're going to hold the dumbbells by our side and simply just do the squat pattern. You're going to focus on, again, that 5 to 10 rep range, and you're going to take a 90-second rest after each set. Remember, 1, 2, 3 sets total, and usually focus on 2 and a third only if you need it. For exercise number 2, we're focusing on the chest by doing the body weight push-up. Now, if you are very strong and you are very good at push-ups, feel free to put a backpack with some additional weights on it in order to make this harder for you. But simply, again, you're going to focus on the 5 to 10 rep range with only 60 seconds of rest between each one of your sets. Exercise number 3, we're going to be doing the chest supported rows. So for this, you will need an adjustable bench of some kind. You could do bent over rows as well if you don't have a bench, but I highly recommend chest supported rows as well. A third option would be inverted rows, but let's take a look at this. So with that, you're going to focus on doing 5 to 10 reps of the chest supported row with 60 seconds of rest between each set. All right, and for exercise number 4 in the plan, we're going to be focusing on the shoulders, back with the dumbbells and doing lateral raises. We're going to again focus on that 5 to 10 rep range with 30 seconds of rest between each one of these sets. And the last exercise of the day, we're moving to the lower body, focusing on the calves. So we're going to again focus on 5 to 10, and then we're going to only take 30 seconds of rest between each one of the sets while really focusing on contracting the calves and working them to fatigue. So starting off with day number 2, we have these 6 exercises or a warm-up with 5 main exercises. And we're going to start with a warm-up, which is the body weight push-up. And exercise number 1 is going to be the seated overhead press using dumbbells and an adjustable bench. Again, we're working on the shoulders as being the main target here. Of course, your triceps and probably a little bit of your chest is involved, but do know that we are going to do that exercise first in the plan while doing 5 to 10 reps and taking that 90 seconds of rest between each set. For exercise number 2, we're going back to the lower body where I'm focusing on doing Romanian deadlifts, which is basically a stiff leg deadlift with a little bit more bend in the knee, but you're just bending at the hips in order to lengthen and contract the hamstrings and glutes throughout the range of motion. On to exercise number 3, we're going to be taking out the dip bars if you have it. You can also do something like diamond push-ups if you don't have the dip bars, but for me I do, so I'm going to be doing dips for exercise number 3. And with this, we are going to focus on doing 5 to 10 reps with 60 seconds of rest between each set. Now on to the next exercise, we are going to focus on the biceps with a good old biceps curl. And for this one, I actually recommend that you do sit down as you remove some of the stability component and really focus on the biceps just doing the work versus any other kind of swaying or any kind of standing stability that may take over when you're doing this exercise. And the last exercise for day number 2 is going to be the seated shrug. I like to do the seated with a slight bend forward. That way I can really focus on contracting the upper back and traps and try and get them to like pin together for each one of the reps. We're doing 5 to 10 reps, of course, with 30 seconds of rest between each set. And now for day number 3 with dumbbells and body weight, we again are doing these 6 total exercises with 1 warm-up and 5 main exercises. Let's take a look at the warm-up. And that is going to be the body weight pull-up. And for this, feel free to again use a doorway pull-up bar, or you can use some kind of contraption like the Iron Master bench pull-up bar. Whatever it is, we're going to be warming up with 5 reps of the pull-up. But now moving to exercise number 1, of course, we're going to be doing pull-ups. Again, if you need to do this assisted still, feel free to do that. Again, I like to, when I get really tired, actually drop down with my feet onto a chair, just my toes, and just have them help me just slightly get back to the top if I feel like I want to do a couple more reps. So you can do that if you need to. Otherwise, do pull-ups until you can't do any more. If you need additional resistance, put on a backpack with some weight in order to do that. But again, 5 to 10 reps with 90 seconds of rest between each set. And now for exercise number 2, we are doing the incline bench press with the dumbbells and an adjustable bench. Feel free to set it around somewhere around 30 degrees with your bench. That way you get that slight incline when doing it. And then, of course, go with 5 to 10 reps and 60 seconds of rest between each set. For exercise number 3, we're going to be doing the split squat. Feel free to also do this as a Bulgarian split squat if that works for you as well. But with this, you're going to be actually starting on the weak leg, doing as many reps as you can on that weak leg, and then immediately moving to the stronger leg to match the same amount of reps as you did with the weak leg, and then take your rest. So again, weak leg, then to strong leg, then rest, then repeat that as many times as you need for as many sets that you have. So if you're doing 2 sets, do 2 sets. If you need a third, do a third. But make sure that whatever you do, that they each match up to make sure everything stays consistent and you are not getting muscle imbalances by only doing one side. But with that, each side will do the 5 to 10 reps with 60 seconds of rest after you've done each leg. All right, the next exercise for day number 3 is going to focus on the triceps with the skull crusher. And for this, you can either do it laying on the ground or a bench. I just prefer a bench as I have one, but feel free to lie down. All you're going to be doing is laying down on the bench and locking your elbows in place while using your triceps to extend and contract in order to raise the dumbbells up and down. So they should come down near your skull, hence the skull crusher name. They're just going up and down in that range of motion. And now the final exercise for day 3, we're focusing on the abdominal muscles by doing the standard crunch. Now, if you want additional weight, feel free to do so, and you can just have them and hold them overhead in order to just provide a bit more resistance against the abs. But you just lay on the ground and do the abs that way. If you have a bench, like an incline bench or something, feel free to do that as well. Doesn't really matter, as long as you are contracting with your abs and bending at the spine to work them, you will still feel this in your abs as you go to that 5 to 10 rep range. And with that, you're also going to be taking 30 seconds of rest between each one of these sets. But again, make sure you are contracting only the abs. It's actually a pretty small movement. You're not throwing the weight around or anything like that. You're only contracting at the abs to bend the spine in order to work them effectively. Now that is it. That is all 3 days laid out for you. Some information and the equipment I would recommend you use for this home workout program. Feel free to take a look at any of the items in the description that may be of interest to you, but take a look at it, see if it works for you, and see if it can be something you implement into your home workout program.